Cost management is split into three main categories: estimation, control, and monitoring. With estimation, we give you a cost estimate per deployment and a delta for each change. So as you're creating new PRs with code modifications, you'll be able to see those cost estimates and see those changes. Or when you're triggering a new deployment with new variables, you'll be able to see those cost estimates as well. With control, we give you a series of different levers to pull, whether it's setting budget limits, time to lives, or policy settings, in order to help keep control of your cloud costs, cloud spend. And lastly, with monitor, we're giving the ability to analyze and look back into your cost spend over time through graphs and timelines and deployment histories so that you can make proper adjustments going forward. Let's start by showing you what cost estimation looks like. So here in env0, I've already triggered a deployment. I have deployed a EC2 instance, and in the plan, you can see here, I have changed the instance size from micro to large. You see the step here, cost estimation. This is turned on simply with a checkbox in the project policy settings. And once you enable it, we'll give you immediately estimations on your deployments. You can see here that the new monthly cost is $56 and the cost change is over 600%. This gives you an immediate understanding for the developer whether or not they've made a drastic change by accident by increasing the instance size or be quite intentional with their decision. Now let's show you from a PR perspective what that looks like. In this PR, I also made a similar type of change where I've changed the instance size. You can see here that it's going to create a new resource and destroy it. And overall, the plan is saying that there's a cost difference from $15 to $56. Here, only 280% increase. But again, as a PR approver, I can review this plan and understand whether or not these are going to impact significantly to my cost spend. Let's move on to cost controls. How do we set policies and settings within env0 to control your costs? To control your costs in env0, let's go and take a look at the cost tab per project. Here in Core Payments Non-Prod, I have this cost tab. Under cost tab, we can set, under this budget tab, a enable budget for this project. So here I have set a $2 weekly budget. I'm just deploying a few EC2 instances for my demo, but it'd be nice to know if I'm going over that budget limit. Now that I've set my budget limit, I can also set some time to live policy settings. Under my project policy settings, I can set default time to live settings to help additionally control cloud overrun costs by automatically self-destroying resources with a maximum of 3 days or a default time to live of 2 hours. Furthermore, we can even set approval policies that use cost estimation in those policies to help decide whether or not a deployment should continue. Let's take a look at our cost policy through this cost policy rego. Here I have a cost limit of $15, and whenever my cost estimation is with my total monthly cost is greater than my cost limit, I'm going to essentially mark this deployment as pending when waiting for approval. And what that means is we will only allow this deployment if someone from my cost approvers team approves this deployment. Here you can see any approver present from the cost approvers team, and we will allow it if anyone has approved it from that cost approvers team. Lastly, we can configure notifications for certain events, especially when costs are exceeding. So here under my notifications tab, I can configure different events I want to listen to, like budget exceeded or things that are waiting for approval. Together with all of these configurations, we can define controls and policies in place to help monitor and manage our costs. The last thing I want to show you is how we monitor. In env0, we can monitor costs by going to our cost tab again and look at the overall cost graph. So in non-prod over the last year, you can see over time my spend, roughly $7 a day. And you can see here a couple weeks ago, we had an increase in spike in costs. You can also monitor your weekly budget usage. Right now, we're already in the middle of the week and we've exceeded our budget. Furthermore, per deployment, we can also see, if I go into a long-running resource, such as this front-end server in prod, you can see over time the deployments. The green lines represent deployments in time, and the yellow line represents the actual AWS bill. So you can see here sometime last week or a few weeks ago, I increased the instance size, and now it's causing my AWS cost to increase by almost 2x. If I go to the deployments tab, I can go back and try to find on March 20th, what did I do exactly? So here under March 20th, I see a bunch of PR plans and this deployment, and we can look in this deployment to see what exactly I changed. Lastly, I want to show you the notification alerts. So we configured the notifications to go to Slack, and here in Slack I can see my core payments non-prod exceeded the budget by $2.39 with a $2 budget. So we can click here and go back to env0 to get more information on exactly what's going on with my project. So just to quickly recap, cost management allows you to estimate your potential costs, control those costs through different types of limits and thresholds and policy settings, and then monitor your costs over time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.